a wall display on PPL subject. So, here are the materials that I use. The first one is the poster pen color, poster pen brush, ball pen, cutter, glue stick, color pen, scissor, glue, construction paper, the Oslo paper, stabilo, pencil, ruler, fountain pen, glue gun, pin holder, and lastly, I have the cardboard. And now let's start with the borderline design so that it can make my wall display more beautiful and more presentable to see. I used the light blue and the yellow construction paper for the design. I cut the paper into small pieces using a cutter and I cut the small pieces into small triangles. After that, I used a roller and a pen to make lines in a triangle design, and lastly, I cut the lines with a scissor. After I am done making the design, I use the glue gun to paste the design on the side of the cardboard for the border design. And this is the result of the border line design. And now I'm using the Oslo paper for my fractions. I cut it into small pieces of rectangle and square shape so that I can write and draw a fractions as well as on how fractions is a part of a whole. I am writing on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. I am making fractions and color the shaded parts. Fractions demonstrate the part of the whole. They can be presented by shaded shapes. The shapes can be divided into equal parts, and then parts can be shaded to represent the given fractions. Each shaded part of the figure tells us how many parts of the whole they represent. And now I'm pasting into the cardboard the fractions that I make. The different types of fractions, fraction with the simplified form, the adding of fractions with the shaded parts, subtracting of fractions, multiplying of fractions, and the dividing of fractions. This will show that fractions is a part of a whole. Since we're done with my wall display about fractions, so now let's find out what is fraction. A fraction is a part of a whole. In arithmetic, the number is expressed as a quotient in which the numerator is divided by the denominator. In simple fraction, both are integers. A complex fraction has a numerator or denominator. So, as you can see here in my example, the numerator is the dividend and the denominator is the divisor. So, it can be divided by. So, I have here also an example of fraction which is 9 over 15. How can we simplify it into a lowest term? So first, we find the GCD or the greatest common divisor of the numerator and the denominator. The greatest common divisor of 9 and 15 is 3. Divide both numerator and denominator by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3 and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 9 over 15 is 3 over 5 in simplified fraction. So, and now let's proceed with the types of fraction. So I have here the proper fractions and the improper fractions. So 4 over 7 is the proper fractions because the numerator is less than the denominator. And also the improper fraction is 7 over 4. So the proper fraction, the 7 over 4 is the improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. And now let's proceed in adding fractions. So I have here an example of 1/5 plus 2/3. So we shade 1/5 plus 2/3. So since our fraction is different denominator, so all we have to do is to find the least common multiple of 5 and 3. So the least common multiple of 5 and 3 is 15. So 15 divided by 5 is 3 times 1 is 3. So we shade 3 over 15. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5 times 2 is 10. So 10 over 15 we shaded it already. So we add 3 over 15 plus 10 over 15. So 3 plus 10 is equal to 13 over 15. So the answer is 13 over 15. So we shade 13 over 15. So 1/5 plus 2/3 is an example of unlike fractions or dissimilar fractions because the denominator are different. So, and 3 over 15 plus 10 over 15, this is an example of like fractions or similar fractions because the denominator are the same. So, let's proceed in subtracting fractions. So, 2/3 minus 1/5. So, we shade 2/3 and then minus 1/5. So, we're the same process in adding fractions that we have this different denominators. So, we find the LCM. So, less common multiple of 3 and 5 is 15. So, 15 divided by 3 is 5 times 2 is 10. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3 times 1 is 3. So, we shortcut it already. So, 10 minus 3 is 7 over 15. So, we shade 7 over 15. So, 7 over 15 is the final answer. So, let's proceed in multiplying fractions. So, multiplying fractions is easy because all we have to do is to multiply both numerators and denominators. So, 2 over 7 times 3 over 5. So, we multiply 2 times 3 is 6 and 7 times 5 is 35. So, our answer is 6 over 35 and this is simplified already. So, let's proceed in fraction times whole number. So, since multiplication is repeated, addition is 2 over 7 times 3. So, 2 over 7 plus 2 over 7 and 2 over 7 is equal to 6 over 7. So, 2 over 7 times 3 is equal to 6 over 7. So, and now, let's proceed with the fraction divided by whole numbers. So, in dividing whole numbers, we remember that 3 rule. To keep, to switch, and to flip. So, when we see keep, so the first fraction here is 1/2, so we have to keep 1/2. So 1/2, we keep 1/2 and then since division is the inverse of multiplication, so we switch the division into multiplication. So, and then we flip the 3. So 3. So, we flip the denominator of 3 is 1. So, the reciprocal of 3 over 1 or we flip it is to 1/3. So, 1/2 times 1/3 is equal to 1/6. So, we shaded 1/6 here. So, and lastly, we have the dividing of fractions. So, 1/2 divided by 1/6. We have dividing of fractions. So, in dividing of fractions, we have to remember the rules. To keep, to switch, and to be flipped. So, 1/2 divided by 1/6. 1/2 is to be kept. The division is switched into multiplication and 1/6 is to be flipped into 6 over 1. So, 1/2 times 6 over 1 is equal to 6 over 2 or 3. So, the final answer is the 3. So, that's all guys for our wall display about fractions and I hope you can learn more about this. And thank you so much for watching and see you next time guys. Bye!